I need to share some shit.
Live, there we go.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Hello, everybody. We literally just started, so let's take a moment of silence to share some shit.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta silence my phone.
My shit just went buzz buzz.
So did mine.
So it's working apparently.
Come on.
Share.
There we go. Okay, it's muted. Muted.
Okay.
It's muted.
Yep. Sweet. Oh, my phone's like charged enough I can like leave it there so I can see all the shit you guys are talking.
Yeah.
So much shit.
Oh. Did it freeze? No, it did not. Okay, great. Great. Thank you guys for joining us tonight from, I'm assuming, YouTube and Facebook?
Yep.
Later tonight, we're going to be talking about Courtney Love and the Kurt Cobain conspiracy. Seems like some funky shit to me from what I got so far.
She's a funky bitch.
Yeah. Oh, there's a whole lot of mess going on there. I didn't do it. Shoo. Do we have a would you rather?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Right. Would you rather be murdered by Courtney Love or the Clintons?
Oh, Jesus. I guess it depends on what you'd be murdered for.
Like, I mean, allegedly they didn't have anything to do with any of these suicides, though.
Yeah, so.
Either of them.
Yeah.
The Clintons or Love, so.
Mm-hmm.
Which one
do you think? I would say the Clintons because then people would believe more that there was more of a cover-up than I think with Courtney Love. I think it's more likely that the first thing somebody's going to say with the Clintons is, oh, it was set up.
Oh, that's true.
With Courtney Love, it'd be like
suicide I've ever seen. Shot himself 3 times in the back of the head with a shotgun.
Exactly.
I was trying to get that second shot in. That was in the third one.
Was it semi-automatic? No, pump action. Started to sound like Officer Barbary.
Okay, nothing to see here, everybody. Sheesh.
I would say Courtney Love because then if there's a second, like, oh shit, she murdered, maybe they might look back at Kurt's whole thing.
Actually, there was several people though with her.
Yeah, what?
There were several people with her, and then
that were
suicided.
It took me 3 hours to watch a 1 hour documentary today because I had to keep stopping and looking at other shit. So,
got it.
Not to be like off track, but I mean, like I was on the same track, but I was like, wait a minute, what the tick? And I go look at something else.
Well, my thought process was maybe if I'm murdered by her, people will pay more attention to her, and like maybe she might actually,
I think there's something weird with her, like the Clintons. I think there really is something weird. Like there's something. She's got something in her pocket. I don't know what it is. A lot of people say it's in between her legs, but I don't. It can't be that fucking good. It just cannot. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are.
That fucking heroin
we saw what the old nose looked like. I mean, come on. It can't be that good. Unless you maybe double bag it. I don't know.
We're talking about Courtney or talking about Hillary? Because
both.
Ew, gross. Hillary was actually very pretty when she was younger.
And Courtney just had money. She came from money. So she just kind of bought her way into the whole scene, just taking care of people. Like, that's what I'm... Poor kids playing music, and they made money later on. None of them really started out rock stars.
No, she did, though.
But yeah, she had enough capital at least back herself up.
But we'll get into that later, though.
Yeah.
So we're almost there. You have questions, comments, concerns? Anybody got a funny answer?
I would like to die by the Clintons, just because that means I'm probably doing something right. I'm probably on the right side of history, I'm assuming, and then you just get added on to the multiple bodies.
Courtney Love is just pissing her off, and she's just fucking psycho and kills you. I got it.
Oh no, you're not gonna make another hit like you did with Smells Like Teen Spirit. Oh, you die. Vicky says I'm gonna die, so I'll get back to you. I think my phone's gonna die. Sorry.
Oh,
okay.
She'll be back.
Get a
Nick
plug.
says hello.
Hello.
Other than that, we're good right now, guys. I'm very concerned with this being suicided now because obviously the Clintons already heard what we said about them.
Oh shit! We're gonna get demonetized real quick, and then somebody's gonna end up missing.
I mean, if anybody even watches on YouTube.
Jesus.
How was everyone's Halloween? What the fuck? I know it's been a while. We didn't do a show last week. Well, we posted a thing last week.
Yeah.
We didn't do a live show. So
I know it feels like we've been gone for a really long time.
I know, it's weird.
Forever, ever.
It's been less than 2 weeks though, so technically.
I know, but still, we're here every week.
Yeah.
Forever.
Unless somebody's like severely sick, dying, or like almost died somewhere else.
I always don't fucking feel like it. I'm like, no, I guess so.
I don't know. I'm good. Peanut and I went to dinner. It was nice.
Yeah.
We went dressed up. We went to a fancy restaurant dressed up.
Did you? Aw.
It was fun.
Aw.
Good food too.
Oh my
Nice.
God. I'm still dreaming of it.
Where'd you guys go?
Eureka.
Oh, yeah, they're okay. I've been there, they're okay.
I'm sure there are better places, but for us that's fancy and everything was delicious. It tasted homemade, like perfect.
Yeah.
No, you can tell they do. They make their own. They make their sauce.
They make their own everything.
Yeah, it
apparently.
doesn't show up like Olive Garden where they just pop.
Oh
it in
God, that
Oh,
place is
God.
garbage. I hate that place. I hate Olive Garden so much.
It's the Chili's of Italian food.
Yes, yes, thank you. Or the Applebee's of
The
Italian
Applebee's.
Jesus, you get like the orchard spritzer.
That sounds
I
gross.
still like Olive Garden, but I don't respect it.
It's like I appreciate what you're trying to do, but it's enough to get me fed right now.
I like their breadsticks, but honestly, I feel like their food you could just go to a frozen section.
That's all it
and
is.
find, yeah.
That's all it is there. It really is.
I like the breadsticks and the fact
There's
that
a
you order food at the
conspiracy
bar.
there
Yeah.
too.
They brought me like I had like eggplant parmesan and like a soup one time, and they were both fucking cold, and I was pissed, and I was like, this is bullshit, because that was $15 and that was like $7, and this shit is cold. And they're like, oh, like we can like warm it up for you or give you I'm like, I don't want you to warm it up for me. Like, no, thank you. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm over it now. Like, I'm that person. Like, if I am ruined and I know that it's bullshit food, I'm just like, nope. I'll just sit here and drink my fucking wine. I don't want this. I don't want this at all. And then like they came back and they brought our plate and they brought me like extra soups and shit that I had ordered. And I'm like, how many of y'all spitting this shit in the back? Like, that's just what I want to know. Like, I didn't even eat it. I was like, I cannot eat this.
Knowing that they're probably pissed off at you.
That's what I was saying. Like, how many of y'all like did some doctoring up back there
I will say
on my
Olive
dishes?
Garden, my sister loves it, my little sister, and for her birthday we went one year, and I like Italian sausage with my spaghetti.
I bet
Exactly-
you do.
Exactly, yeah, exactly where your minds are going. So my brother, as Frankie does, jokes about it. Like, whatever, it's delicious. I'm gonna eat it. I don't care what you guys say. Well, the waiter comes, brings our own plate. It's a big group of us. There's a bunch of kids. So he's yelling out the stuff. Oh, who had the Parmesan, whatever. And then he comes by. Who had the 2 sausages? Who had 2 sausages at this table?
It's fucking weird.
Thanks, man. That's a good way to put it. Thank you.
The girl's like, I'm double fisting all night. Right here.
Spaghetti, please.
Yeah, right.
God.
3 dicks.
2 ducks. Oh yeah.
All night long.
Mel
Sounds a
joined
brand
us. Says, what's up,
Hey,
ladies?
Mel. Thanks for joining
Hi.
us.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Oh, shit.
Sorry, I'm squinting. I can barely see with these lashes. Everybody.
Just got turkey feathers. Like,
I know.
peacock feathers.
I know it's not too close yet. Like, we still have a couple Thursdays between. What are you guys going to do for Thanksgiving? What's the plan?
Oh, well, I don't know.
Usually I just cook.
Just cooking and go
I
for
mean,
it.
Yeah.
if I don't have to cover someone's shift at the gym, then I probably will just be at home with family. I mean,
Usually I end up taking strays into my home. So
Stray cats.
stray whatever just walks in.
Humans,
Humans.
probably.
Yeah, mostly humans. So I always have the open door policy on Thanksgiving. So it's like
Aw.
anybody wants to come over, it's cool. I've got like a shit ton of food that's gonna last me for 2 weeks, and I'm probably gonna push half of it off on my parents. So
I like to take the turkey and make Cuban sandwiches with it. The leftovers.
Someone's doing Thanksgiving right then. So I'm
Tasty.
hell yeah. I might take you up on that this year. My family's going to Ventura,
Mm.
and I can't make it because of work. I'm probably free during the day. So I was going to go super depraved with it. Like,
Oh my
I'm gonna
God.
go-
Order Jack in the Box.
No, you
or-
could
I'm
come
gonna
to my
get a-
house.
I'm
It's
gonna
totally
get a TV
cool.
dinner and go to the boo.
Oh, Jesus. No, come to my house and watch football and eat fucking food, dude.
What's the worst thing I could do for this holiday? A family.
Go to the Boo and eat a fucking Hungry Man.
That could be the most.
Because you're hungry in more than one ways.
Oh my God.
They don't sell double sausages, sir, so.
Oh my goodness. Well, you never know. They're a very open place. They're very liberal.
I'm saying Hungry Man doesn't make double sausages.
Hey, they got the shop next door, the Love Boutique. You can go and get yourself more sausages.
Oh my God.
Rubber
I should never have told you guys that story.
A lot of things you shouldn't tell us, Miguel.
Quit pretending like you didn't want us to know.
Very true. I'm a little concerned now. I think I regret it. I'm gonna get double sausage until the end of my life.
Oh, you guys. Okay, so there was a man back on June 30th in 2000. He was from Maryland. He suffered from the hiccups after, drinking quite heavily that day. And he told his friend to punch him in the chest because he thought that would get rid of his hiccups.
Okay.
So his friend obliged.
Oh no.
And ended up killing him.
Oh Jesus. I don't think that's how it works.
Sounds about right. Valve check.
Charges weren't filed or anything, but yeah. Dude was like,
so
I got
he
the
says.
hiccups.
So he says. I mean, you can't really ask the dead guy. So, I've heard a lot of crazy shit.
That's true, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think the story would have come out for real, like if there, were not any witnesses. I think he would have been arrested for sure. Like, he's had the hiccups. Like, if it's just
unless they were in on it.
Yeah,
No,
true.
kidding.
I don't know. You
No.
never know. But yeah, the dude fucking
What an
punched
idiot.
him in the chest and killed him because he had the hiccups and he wanted him gone. I mean, I don't know. I think maybe the alcohol might have had something to do
Hi, I'm
with
Johnny
him
Knoxville.
dying. I don't know.
Welcome to Jackass.
Oh my goodness.
I got the hiccups. Punch me.
Jeez Louise.
Who the fuck says that?
That always works.
Of all the ways to die, it's like, I was really bad. Get hiccups and punch by my friend. Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
That one you definitely can laugh at. That's probably the most laughable one.
Dude,
man.
it's a very short story, short to the point, but it made me laugh. Like,
Jeez.
just think, like, I don't know. After a couple more of those, be like, Joe, I got the hiccups. Punch me in the face.
I'll be like, no.
Like, seriously, that friend is a dick.
I probably should have thought that out a little bit more. I shouldn't punch you for this.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
The article didn't say whether or not his friend, the dude who punched him, was drinking, though.
Oh.
It just said that the guy who died was drinking.
I
Okay.
would hope so.
I'm just going to
But-
assume they are probably all drinking then.
Maybe.
Because you can't drink alone. That's
Yeah.
depressing as fuck.
That's true.
So.
So this story is kind of weird to me. I think it's funny because why would they like just go with that? Like, oh yeah, like all the witnesses too. Like, how is everyone so fucked up that they're just like, yeah, punch him?
Well, what state was this in?
Maryland?
Oh, really?
I don't know. I don't know anything about Maryland.
Would have made more sense for Texas or Florida.
Yeah, that's true. That sounds like a Florida story.
Kind of does, but there's no meth involved.
Or maybe like a California story, like on the beach, spring break.
Yeah, bruh. She's like, right here, man. Like, it totally stopped my hiccups, bruh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's weird.
People are so great.
And who told him that punching him would cure the hiccups? I wonder if they, like you said, maybe they were all in on it.
Oh, yeah.
Because they could have all been like, oh, yeah. If you get punched, then the hiccups will go away.
Yeah.
Maybe he was like, yeah, do it then.
That sounds like
Straight
solid
stop.
logic.
Who
his
knows?
heart.
That's a whole mystery on its own. I'm intrigued by this story the more that I think about it. Okay, let's move that away.
All right.
Meanwhile, I'm just sitting there thinking, you've apparently never been around a couple of dudes that have just been doing nothing but drinking since the first moment they
Well,
woke up.
yeah, but
Yeah, that sounds like an idea.
I have, but I don't know. That never really happened.
I've had worse
Stuff like that.
ideas.
Never really happened.
I do just stupid shit when I'm drinking. That's all I gotta say.
Huh. Now that I think about it.
But not punch people in the fucking chest to get rid of hiccups.
I can't even try to think about punching when I'm drinking. It's like those dreams where you're underwater and you're trying to punch.
Can't fight this shark.
Yeah.
She's a wheeze. Are we ready for some strange news? Okay, this one super disturbed me on so many different levels. And then it just makes me think of the whole like Epstein bullshit and the pedophilia that's going around in Hollywood. Not to say that he's a pedophile, but
we don't know.
This is damn near borderline.
Allegedly.
Don't give me Clintons. No, that T.I. deal.
Okay.
Did you see about that with T.I.? He goes with his 18-year-old daughter.
T.I. the rapper?
Yeah.
Okay.
He goes.
Or a singer, whatever.
Yeah.
The fuck. What does he consider himself? Is he a rapper, a singer?
Fucking weirdo. That's all I know.
An artist?
Mm-hmm.
Artiste?
Supposedly he goes with his daughter, who is now 18 years old, every year to the gynecologist to make sure that her hymen is not broken, that it's still intact.
What?
Mm-hmm. To make sure that she's still a virgin.
Was that on their TV show? He
just came. I don't really know like how it really came out, but I like read an article just saying that he's been going with his daughter for several years to the gynecologist, even though she is now 18 years old, to make sure that her virginity is still intact.
It's fucking weird.
But
that you come up with this, or that you like bring up this story. I'll tell you in a second.
Sex is not the only way you can break a fucking hymen.
Right.
You can be an athlete. You can fall. You can use tampons. There's so many different ways. This guy is a fucking moron. And he's a fucking sicko.
He's giggling. What?
She could have been like.
I said tampon.
She could have had some kind of problem. That's one of her friends to punch her. You know.
Yeah. I have the hiccups, bro. Punch me.
Punch me in the uterus.
I don't think that helps.
But I think it's.
Oh my god.
I think it's super disturbing. I think it's super sick.
That's crazy.
And she's 18 years old now. Like, she's an adult. Like, there's like HIPAA shit. Like, she doesn't have to allow her dad to keep going in there. Why does she allow that?
Right.
She has a lot of
unless she was groomed to do things like that. But on top of that, why would you be so into your daughter's virginity like that you have to go with her every year to the gynecologist to verify that her hymen is still intact, that she's not sexually active?
You know what's weird? Okay, I am gonna answer that, but I want to talk about this first because it's fucking crazy. And this is happening a lot during this time of year. It happens more when it gets like cooler and creepier and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, and I were talking about if we ever have a girl, like if we have kids and we have a girl or whatever, we're gonna take her to the gynecologist instead of letting her like hide and be weird about getting, contraception from like Planned Parenthood and all this shit. Like, of course, when she's of age, we're gonna take her. We just happened to be talking about it, and it's weird that you brought up this story. I don't know, it's weird. Instead of like letting her run around all these places, we're gonna take her to a real guy.
Like, no, fuck you. You're no.
Like we were talking about how like when she eventually starts a period, we're going to take her to the gynecologist regularly and tell him like, hey, if she wants birth control, just fucking give it to her. We're not going to.
That shit is so fucking. I'm sorry. I'm going to be that asshole right now just because I had to deal with that shit. That shit is so horrible for your body. It is so horrible for your body. It is so fucking horrible for your body. It's synthetic hormones. It chemically alters you. It is so fucked up. And I had to take it for so fucking long for stupid other shit besides like contraceptive. It's so not good for you. So not good for you.
Okay.
You guys do what the fuck you want, but I'm just saying, it's just not good for you.
Okay.
So.
Pregnancy is also.
Pregnancy
at shit out of your daughter
14 is also not good.
Yeah,
tell her that not to do that when she's fucking just wanting to rebel against you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's hard to tell fucking 14, 15-year-old not to do something, and then that makes them want to go fucking do it even more. So that's why we were talking about
I understand that. I waited till I literally was an adult because I saw all my fucking friends have babies.
Too.
I was like, you guys are fucking dumb.
I lost my virginity at 18 years old.
So did I.
waited.
I was like, fuck y'all. Y'all got babies at fucking daycare in between fucking algebra and PE.
Oh my
fuck
God.
that.
No, there was a daycare in my high school.
There was at BHS too.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
That's
there
why I
was
was
a
like, what
daycare
the
at my high
fuck?
school.
That was part of home ec, was you took care of everybody else's, if you did home ec.
Home ec, no, oh my God. There was a class at West High that when I went there for 6 months because my parents were having their house built. So we had to live in an apartment over there when we first moved to Bakersfield.
Okay.
So I went to West High for a couple months, and their program was way different than fucking sex ed at the higher end, more college prep classes and shit at fucking Centennial High School. West High had the babies that students had to carry around and take care of, and the fake babies the fake babies that would cry, that would shit, and just whatever, like they
in the middle class. And shit.
The timers would go off and all this stuff. Like they did that shit at West High. Like,
In the Bay Area, we did not do that. But when we did sex ed, you were told you can go to, and they didn't do this at BHS that I was ever aware of, honestly. But you can go to a little place by the nurse's station. It was every Monday and Thursday. And you can get free condoms. You can get tampons, pads, whatever you needed to keep you safe or comfortable if you're a female, or safe if you were sexually active. Like, we didn't have daycare shit up there. We honestly, we had one girl that got pregnant my freshman year.
Crazy. I never knew about any of that shit growing up at all. Like anything. My parents didn't talk to me about anything.
My mom did when I was a little bit.
People at school didn't really talk to their parents and shit about stuff. None of us knew what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
Some of my other friends were right on it when things happened with them and everything, and I'm just like, I didn't know any of that shit until the middle of high school.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Like how my fucking super
No, it's cool.
quick. My crazy fucking Christian parents are afraid to talk to their children about sex because it's like, you don't touch those parts and you keep people away from those parts and you just keep everyone away from it, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I guess because maybe you're a kid and it's not really something you're supposed to be involved in.
I was 15. Like,
you're still a kid.
Point, yeah, but at that point,
well, no, you still need to understand.
I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything. I was just I might as well have been homeschooled. Right. You know what I'm saying? Not around anything, didn't know anything, didn't.
No, I get it. You do need to understand. And
I didn't have any
educated
real social skills. That kind of shit is crazy. So I'm glad that they kind of have those things. At high schools, that's so important. And junior high, when they teach the sex ed class, that's amazing.
You had junior high.
Junior high when they started teaching. Well, I went to high school or junior high in Bell Garden, so it's kind of a ghetto school.
We did ours in 5th and 6th grade.
Yeah, junior high. That was our that was our junior high 6th grade. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. That's part of junior high.
Oh, okay.
From 5th to 8th grade was junior high.
No shit.
Well,
we were still elementary school in 6th grade.
Yep.
Then junior high was 7th and 8th grade, and then we went to high school.
Well, my school was really poor, so we had K through 8.
Oh no shit!
Yeah, that's where I went to school. I went to a really poor school, so that's why it felt like junior high was 5th through 8th grade, because all of everything was mixed. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. We went our school.
Yeah, that's crazy. I went to private from K to 8, and they just told us, "Oh yeah, you're middle school now. Good job." And they actually did a pretty good job during sex ed over at, it was a Catholic private school too, and I feel like I learned more there than going to high school and hearing their sex ed talks. They're like, here's 16 and pregnant, don't do this.
What did you guys learn about drugs?
We had Dare.
We had Dare, yeah.
I had the Dare program too.
Careful, because they're really, really awesome, and then you're not going to want to do them ever again.
Well, see, in the Bay Area, nobody was worried about fucking and having babies. Everybody wanted to do shrooms. They wanted to do acid. They wanted to do LSD.
Everyone just wanted to get fucked up.
Everybody was on psychedelics in high school.
Well, that was about the 90s, 2000s era, like the age that everyone grew up, which is where all this shit was happening too.
Yes.
Like heroin was really big.
Oh, yeah, it was. It was huge. Huge.
Good Catholics, it was cocaine. There's a lot of cocaine.
Oh, that's it? Just cocaine?
Because you guys were richer.
A bunch of
You
rich
went to
kids.
the fucking rich Catholic schools. That's where you get the cocaine.
I went to a summer
Cocaine.
school. Summer school from 8th grade to freshman year before I knew I was moving up here. And there's just kids doing it in the bathroom. Like, huh? You put that in your nose, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, interesting.
At Centennial, it wasn't until, so I went to West High, it was predominantly Hispanic and Black students.
Yeah.
There were like no drugs around the school that I knew of. Like nobody was talking about getting drugs, doing drugs, whatever.
Well, no,
I went
because
to
that's how the adults
Centennial.
find out.
I went to Centennial. Everybody's talking about, I got all these prescription pills, all these fucking Centennial. Yeah, because they're like richer, right? Rich white kids who can
they
get
got moms that have
pills
Xanax
and they
shit.
they can get Vicodin. They could get meth, cocaine, whatever, anything you wanted at Centennial.
Sounds like
And I was
Garces.
he went to Garces.
Garces,
Yeah, that's right. Because it's more private school. Well, Centennial's a college prep high school.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a little,
so it's more high end. So yeah,
I still beat those kids at debate class.
yeah, like I don't know. I was just thinking about that though. I guess apparently the 90s was really big on heroin.
It was,
which was what Courtney and Kurt were into.
Do you think that makes you a more grungy person?
Get the fuck out of here.
I had to.
Makes you a dirtier person.
And Richard says, I haven't been offered drugs nearly as much as I was warned about in schools. I'm very disappointed.
Right? It's a setup.
Oh my God. I wish I had the knowledge that I do now. I was such a late bloomer just because of my super fucking religious upbringing and because my parents made me afraid of them. Like I was just afraid to learn about anything. So it wasn't until after high school I started like picking up and like learning all this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I had a lot of friends who went through the same kind of stuff, but my parents were a lot younger than their parents because when they started having kids early. So it felt a little different. They were kind of never around. They're always working. So I kind of, even being in a really religious upbringing, it just was not the same as everybody else's.
Yeah.
But I definitely understand where you're coming from with that because a lot of kids are like, I don't know what a tampon was. Like, I don't know what a tampon is. You're a girl.
Right.
I shouldn't know what that is.
Oh, I didn't even learn about tampons till I was like 16.
Right? Yeah, that's weird. You should know that stuff going into it.
Isn't that crazy? That's crazy.
Yeah. The horror stories of growing through puberty. Jesus.
Oh man.
Oh man. Okay.
Courtney Love and Kurt Cobain. Been an ongoing deal for over 20 years now. What actually happened to Kurt?
It's crazy that people, and I'm just going to tell you, because you've all heard it before, my opinion, I believe that Courtney had him killed.
Oh, hell yeah.
I believe it. I believe that she is a fucking money-hungry fucking bitch.
She's got problems. Like, I looked back into some of her family shit because I was like, there's something just doesn't seem right with this chick. Like, something... I'm like noticing like little patterns in these videos I'm watching about her.
Yeah, let's start there.
Like something's off.
Let's start with this because this is gonna explain a lot of the shit.
I hope it does
happened.
At least. I was trying to make it a little short because there's like a lot of shit to the story, but
we have 30 minutes. Let's do
it. Well, Courtney Love was born in San Francisco in 1964.
Okay.
Her father he worked for the Grateful Dead, and her mother was. At the time, her being little, they were both like mega fucking hippies.
Right.
Like they were part of the whole Ashbury, like going down free love, everybody's dropping shit movement. Courtney Love was actually on the back of one of the Grateful Dead's albums when she was 5. And her mother accused her father of giving her LSD when she was 3. And it was a big fucking deal in the newspapers.
That would make so much fucking sense.
There's more. It made like headlines all over in the newspapers.
Her backstory is a whole other episode.
Mm-hmm.
But okay.
But and the reason why it was like a big deal was because 1, some person had given their child LSD. 2, that person also worked for the Grateful Dead. 3, Courtney Love's family actually came from money. Her grandmother was a very high up published children's author and did like novels, different kinds of writing. And her grandfather was a poet. Like they just had money from being writers, like really good writers. Like they got like special awards, all kinds of shit.
Like, you know, that ballad that's in like bathrooms, you know, oh, here I sit broken heart. Yeah, that was her grandfather. Yeah.
Oh, was it? Yeah. I think everybody says that's their grandfathers that put that there.
Not my grandfather, because he can't write.
Oh man, that's a bummer.
Oh God, never mind.
But anyway, yeah. So and then her mother started sending her to a psychiatrist in therapy when she was about 3. And
that's really young for that.
Yeah.
What are you gonna really
Jesus
learn
Christ.
Well, I don't know. I think it was because of the accused abuse or the alleged abuse and the LSD and all that other shit. But by the time she was 7 or 9, she was going to this one therapist who sat there and said that she had schizoid tendencies. She had a lot of problems, but this guy was also supposedly like he had pornography in his bathroom, that he was very inappropriate with children.
And so she may have been raped. Or
maybe. Courtney Love has a lot of lies. Like a lot of people in her life say you can never believe what comes out of her mouth.
Oh my God. Like with all the interviews I fucking read about.
Yeah.
But honestly, is that different than most people in that kind of world? Like
no.
Crazy musician people.
Yeah. But she actually came from some musicians did come from family, but she's one of the ones like she really didn't have any fucking talent. Like really nothing other than convincing her way into shit. Because I'm sorry, Hole sucked. Hole was a shitty band. I hated Hole growing up.
I was about to say, honestly, I didn't like it either, but she had a hit record before Cobain did.
But that wasn't because of her. That was because of her bass player.
I was like, she had enough talent in the community where she could have rode any band that she wanted to. Like,
but she was also known.
Well, if she came from money, then yeah, she could have just paid for other people to fucking
do it.
Well, she was known for a little bit for money, but she was known for being very outrageous. Like she would go to these like underground gay clubs and shit, and they would even say, you know, we're not known for, you know, bar brawling, but every time Courtney walked in, there's pill popping, there's alcohol, there's fucking fights going on left and right. She's beating the shit out of somebody, or she's starting something with somebody. She's flashing people. She's trying to fuck people in the corner. Like she's just
something happened to that bitch.
Well, her mom ended up getting like remarried like 2 other times after she left the dad, and they lived in a commune in Oregon. They moved to New Zealand. Her mom became a psychotherapist. All these people were like coming to their house to like do little retreats and shit while she was growing up. Like she had a very weird, fucked up upbringing with money on top of it. So
anything could happen. Like you talked about her maybe having connections to the Clintons, like.
Or she's got connections like Clinton's because they're just like shit I was getting into. I was like, because
the money and the drugs and the parties and all that shit. Like, how is that stuff still going? Like after a while, you notice people like, hey man, I can't pay for this anymore. Whatever. Yeah. Like they eventually run out of money. It didn't seem like that shit was stopping anytime soon.
Well, I think there was a point to it where she felt like she was gonna lose a lot of shit at the end, and we'll get into that later. But I think that was part of like the demise of Kurt. But but yeah, so that's a little bit of her backstory on her side. Okay. So yeah.
Well, what I picked up on was that Kurt and Courtney had a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
They were constantly like just not seeing eye to eye on stuff, just fighting. Like, I don't know. She was really controlling.
Yes.
Super controlling, telling him who he could see. Like, I don't know. Like, she would just be jealous if he would talk to anyone. You know, I'm sure she was jealous of his fame and popularity because she was, you know, she had a band and all that stuff. And of course he was getting more attention at the time too.
Well, yeah, I think to an extent, I think after a while it just became, they were just kind of, it was like they were that couple. It was like Brad and Angelina, Kurt and Courtney. Yeah. And she kind of fed off of that. You know what I mean? Like in a way, she kind of latched on to like, oh, I'm with Kurt Cobain. Like, look at me.
Which brings it to the point to where, okay, so at first, I saw the Soaked in Bleach documentary.
I did not see that one.
I saw it. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm gonna basically kind of talk about what I saw in this documentary.
Okay.
So Courtney hired a private investigator. I forget his fucking name. Something Grant.
Tom Grant.
Yeah, Grant. Okay. Yeah, Tom Grant. So she hires him because, oh, my credit cards, you know, I need someone to look at the credit card stuff. Like, Kurt's missing. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
So I don't want someone to use the credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But then she goes into, well, we're going to get a divorce and all this stuff, and he's missing now. And she lied when she first called this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was like, oh, yeah, I just need you to look up some credit card stuff or whatever. And then it turns out, oh, we're getting a divorce, and he's thinking about leaving me, and he's talking about committing suicide and all this stuff. So she just was not upfront from the beginning.
Right.
And she started talking about to this private investigator, maybe I should put a story in the news.
Yeah.
I'll put a story in the news about me overdosing and just going to the hospital and fake an overdose or whatever, just to, you know, maybe he'll turn up. And, you know, basically she was thinking that he would contact her after seeing this stuff in the news and the papers and be concerned and finally reveal where he's at. So at this point, she doesn't know where he is, supposedly. She doesn't know where he's at. He's missing. So yeah, like, and then he finds out that there was a situation not long before that where they were both in Rome.
Yeah.
Courtney and Kurt were in Rome, and he had overdosed.
So she says.
Yeah. He overdosed on champagne and some sort of
pain medication.
Pain medication that he was on. Because Kurt Cobain had a lot of stomach problems.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's weird because supposedly he overdosed on this shit for all the stomach problems he was having, but not long before that, he had been talking about how he had been on the right medication for his stomach problems.
Yeah.
He seemed to be doing fine.
Well, supposedly she put, I forget the name of the drug, but it's basically almost like a date rape drug.
Row something.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Fentanyl or something. Yeah, something
Fentanyl,
like that.
Row something.
She roofied his shit.
Yeah.
She supposedly roofied his shit. He passed out and laid there for an hour before she called to get any help.
And she was saying that, oh, he's trying to commit suicide.
Yeah.
And supposedly he left her a note saying, oh, I can't live this life anymore. I'm not happy anymore.
Yeah.
But then she told this private investigator, oh, he's planning on leaving me.
Yeah.
She didn't mention that when she first called. Like, so all of these lies are starting to pile up, like, or all these omissions of truth rather than lies. Because, I mean, we all know what lies are. Omission of truth is also a lie.
Yeah.
But, I mean, she was just omitting certain things. And she later on said, was like, oh, I have a note that he wrote me from Rome, in Rome, or whatever, but I don't have it.
It's in a safe deposit box.
Yeah.
Like she's giving super specific details on it too to like kind of throw off from.
Oh it's here, but I don't have it.
Yeah, she's like, it's on an IHOP napkin and it's in red ink. Like seriously, like she's like giving super detail to it. And the guy's like, yeah, if you could just show it to me, we can compare it to his other note.
The news, even during that time where he supposedly tried to kill himself in Rome. She at that time was saying, "Oh no, it's not. You know, it was just an accident." During that time, she was even saying it was an accident. She was telling the press it was an accident.
Yeah, she is insane. Well, in 1995, briefly after Kurt had died, she started seeing a whole bunch of dudes, and one of them was Trent Reznor, the lead singer of 9 Inch Nails. Well, basically 9 Inch Nails, period, because he does all that shit himself.
Right.
He just hires people to tour with him.
Yeah.
Anyway, they dated for a short period of time, and he was quoted as telling Details magazine that she was a master at manipulating the press, that she was obsessed with the media and how she's perceived. What I didn't realize was that 95% of what was her directly calling the editors. She has a full media network going on. There are several interviews with people saying similar shit. Should I call this? Should I call the media? Should I call this person? Should I call and give her, like, she always wants to be the first one to put the story out before anyone else does.
Okay, so this investigator that she was hired, she was like, oh, how's this spin? Like, how's that for a good story? Yeah. If I just put it out there that I have an overdose.
She reminds me of
and then
Ted Bundy,
she mentions in that same fucking sentence, that same interview, oh, I do have an album coming out.
In like 8 months or whatever, I have an album coming out.
She was like, next week in this interview that she okay, well, it's not an interview. It's a phone conversation that was recorded with this private investigator that she hired. She was like, oh, well, I know this is like selfish, but basically she was saying that it was selfish. And I'm misquoting because I don't remember the exact quotes, of course. But she was basically saying, I know this is selfish, but I have an album coming out. Maybe I should post to the news, give the news stories that, oh, I'm in the hospital suffering from an overdose and all this stuff, or that, you know, whatever. Like,
and that's funny because that comes up later on at the end of this whole deal.
Crazy. She's telling him, like, she's basically saying, oh, I'm just gonna spin this however I want, and people are gonna believe it. She literally said people will believe it. I remember that being part of a quote.
Well, because the first one who speaks up is the first one who's gonna get believed. So that's why she wants to be the first one to say something. She's like Ted Bundy, dude. Like, she's got to like make herself look all cool and good. Like, she's a decent person and she's so smart.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh my god,
it's not unbelievable. You guys know about Norwegian death metal?
Oh god.
Oh my god, the dude that fucking killed himself.
Yeah, he shot himself in the head.
Yeah. Oh, he slit his wrist first, then he shot himself because he couldn't decide which one he wanted more.
What happened was one of his bandmates waited to tell the police.
So because he could get a picture with the body, and then he took the bones, like a teeth, right?
It was like, I think it was teeth and skull fragments.
Teeth and skull fragments that he put into like some sort of like, was it a soup?
No, he's selling the bits. He's still selling them.
They can be engraved on each like you can't even, you don't even buy CDs anymore. What the hell?
Fucking crazy.
Sorry.
And then he released the story that like there's a rumor that he helped spread that maybe he's the one who killed him.
I just want more.
It's possible.
It's probably not. That's the thing. Like in the same way she wants to spread rumors and be the first one to say stuff.
Well, see, her her attorney, her entertainment attorney, who is also her daughter's godmother, is pretty sure she did it. This private investigator thinks that she did it. Her own father thinks that she did it.
Yeah, her dad's a piece of shit, though.
Yeah, he is, but
he probably was the one who caused all this shit. Probably
or
fucked
the mom
the
being a
shit out of her.
psychotherapist, moving them to communes and shit, and all kinds of bullcrap.
Maybe she was fucked in all the communes that she was in.
Another thing too.
Oops, sorry,
is that the grandmother that was the author and stuff, the well-known author, she gave Courtney's mother up after she got pregnant with her. So she didn't, like, her mom didn't even, like, they didn't even know each other. And then Courtney didn't even really know her grandma too well, but they all came from this family. Right. And then Courtney claims that she started stripping at 15 or 16, and she was stripping in, like, Japan and Germany and all these places. Like,
doesn't surprise me. I mean, if it happened, then yeah, whatever. But
she's a liar, though, so I don't know how much I believe about a 15-year-old.
I don't know.
That looks like her going to tour in Japan. And she's cutting herself. That was her deal. She cut herself on stage.
That's gross.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Kurt's autopsy.
Oh, yeah.
We only have about 10 minutes. Well, 15 minutes.
But I still have 5 pages.
Oh, my God.
I did a lot of work this week.
We need to do a recorded one of this to just throw it all out there.
That's okay. I got a summed up version in the back. It'll break it down in about 3 minutes. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, Kurt's autopsy proved a lot of stuff. And I'm just going to go over the autopsy real quick, and then we can go off of that. But basically, they found 1.52 milligrams per liter in his body of heroin. Mm-hmm. The normal heavy users usually use about
like a 0.6,
like a 0.6 milligram or something like that, or 60 milligrams. Mm-hmm. 60 milligrams.
You're right.
This one is a 1.52 is what they found in his body.
The lethal dose. 60 is a lethal dose.
Yeah, that's three times the amount a normal heavy user usually injects.
Yeah, that's a lot of shit.
There is no way, because they did find that he shot himself. Okay. He died from the drug overdose. Mm-hmm. And there's no way, like, okay, maybe if he did kill himself, he would have dosed himself, but why would he also shoot himself?
Yeah.
There's no way that he could have, because people would be unconscious.
Yeah.
At the minimal amount.
Yeah.
You know, the 60 milligrams, someone would be passed out by then. They're unconscious. There's no physical way that they could move or do anything. They don't have any skills to, like, pick this up, for example. They're passed out. They're passed out. Supposedly a doctor did a study to where they were like, oh, yeah, well, this person was on this amount of the drug and they were able to move. No, they were on methadone, first of all. They were on methadone.
That takes way longer to get into your system than actual
That is a completely different drug.
Yeah.
Methadone. Also, the heroin was taken orally in this study.
Yeah.
Orally, not injected.
Yeah, so it takes a lot longer to absorb, if you will.
Absolutely. So there's no way, this is just from the autopsy, there's no way that he could have had the mobile skills to hold up a gun at any point and shoot himself.
Well, supposedly he put his shit away first. They said he put everything back in the box.
Yeah, everything was all nice in the box and just it was out, and then it was taken and then put back, and like everything was neat in a box. There's no way that could happen. And for those of you that have seen videos on Facebook or wherever of people overdosing on drugs, on heroin specifically, everybody will know that they're fucking passed out.
Yeah.
They are laying out on the ground. There is no way they're not moving. People are slapping them.
Oh,
People
yeah.
are punching them. Like,
she even had some things that made me think she was a little more sick too. Is she sat there in interviews and she's like, yeah, like, I was getting so annoyed with him when his drug use, like he'd just be passed out and I couldn't get him awake. So she said she would stab him in the balls with pens and like throw ice in his face. I'm like, no, you probably did that because you enjoyed doing that. Like you enjoyed taking advantage of somebody who was out like that and wanted to torture them.
In all honesty, we don't know what they were into though. You know?
I know, like, but you can't give a safe word if you're unconscious. That's all I'm saying.
That's correct.
So
for those of you who are going to take anything away from this podcast, it's going to be
have a safe word. There are some weird people out there, some weird fetishes. So I'm not going to question. I like it when I'm unconscious.
Consent is number one, people.
Right? Jesus.
I will say this though: his heroin addiction was not a normal heavy user. No, this is the guy who had enough money, and all he spent his money was on heroin.
And he was rich as fuck. Like his estate was worth $500 million.
Yeah, all he ever did was heroin and sing, and then complain about being famous for singing and doing heroin.
Yeah.
I could see him doing so much more drugs than a normal user.
And how women are so like injustice, but he's wearing our fucking sweaters and shit.
He stole your sweater? What?
I'm just saying.
That Freddy Krueger bullshit.
Oh Jesus!
Oh God.
I think I can do without that sweater. I had one when I was like 19. Oh. It was green and gray, and it was cute.
But
that sounds like Letterkenny right there. My safe word is.
There's the air going out of you as she's stabbing you. That doesn't sound very sexy to me. That sounds like
that's me dying.
Yeah.
Well, quick breakdown before we get to the suspected people, the actual suspected people.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 days before Kurt was discovered dead, or was dead, I should say, because he actually laid there for a long while before he was found. Courtney Love went to see Carol Rosemary, who is what I said earlier, her entertainment lawyer and their daughter's godmother,
Frances Bean.
Yeah.
She's so beautiful. By the
way.
Oh
gosh, she's beautiful. She's kind of weird too, but she's beautiful.
I don't know if I've seen any pictures.
She is gorgeous.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, and she got the best of both of them, not the nose.
Fucking sweet too. You see interviews. And
she's
stuff.
fucking weird. She's got some weird art shit going on.
Well, of course. I mean, if your dad was murdered.
Like, yeah,
there's weird art all the time. I mean,
and then her mom too.
Have you guys seen that art collection in LA with all the lampposts like really close together?
No, that drives me nuts.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's
I actually have.
Yeah,
not in person, but yeah, I've seen it.
Pictures all the same guy did that. He did a live art piece where he had someone shoot him in the arm, and that was the whole entire. That was his piece.
That'd be if I just took all of the cigar wrappers from Bakersfield Gentleman and just like glued them on a wall
really close together.
Yeah,
I did it. It's beautiful.
Basically,
I just think the lampshades together.
That's art.
A bunch of lampposts that are really close together. That's all it is.
It would drive me nuts. I feel like spaces. We need spaces.
So I'm not going to question
my OCD's like,
I did like this. She went to Rosemary's house, and was talking to her about some stuff that was going on between her and Kurt. She knew Kurt was getting ready to leave her because she was, I guess, basically for adultery. Like she'd been caught like messing around. I think it was with the male nanny at the time. I want to say that. I'm not 100% sure.
That guy Callie or whatever.
I don't remember. He looks like a douchebag. But
that's what I heard. Callie is his name.
I know. I seen a picture of him. He looks like a douchebag. I don't know.
Yeah, Callie.
But that's a douchebag name too. Anyway, but when she left the house,
I thought it was a girl name.
Right? She left the house, and when she left, Rosemary realized she left her backpack there. Mm-hmm. Well, the next day, Courtney was arrested for supposed drug charges and drug overdose in a hotel room. Mm-hmm. And it came about later on, I want to say like a day or so later, she was released because they were not accurate charges. So she probably went and called the cops and said, I'm having a drug overdose. And they arrested her and put her in jail for some shit in LA, right?
So that she could
be not there. So she could not be linked to it. So then that backpack stayed at Rosemary's house for a week. She got suspicious, opened the backpack, and through everything she found 2 notes. Mm-hmm. The first one read, get arrested. The second one was a big handwriting practice sheet where she practiced several letters of the alphabet over and over and over again.
Who does that except
crazy
people trying to fucking forge a note?
Mm-hmm. And so she actually, when Love was released, mm-hmm. But a few days later, when she was released, nothing had come out about whether or not Kurt was dead yet.
Right.
So the day she got out, she called a security company and said, hey, I need you to go over to the house, go to this unused, empty greenhouse above our garage and go install a security system in the morning. Like, I need it done now. The next morning, that's when his body was discovered, was by the electrician that was going out there to set up the alarm system.
Yeah, he's in the
How fucking funny is that? She didn't even live there. She hadn't lived there for a long while.
What a coincidence that she just needed somebody to go and
in that specific part of the house.
Fix some lights and shit. Yeah.
Set up a security system when you don't even live there and it's in that part of the house and you just got out of jail for some shit. So the lawyer, Rosemary, she had already been talking to the PI Grant before mm-hmm. on just little things. So she actually got worried and called him and said, I need to meet with you. I need to give you some stuff.
She was supposed to be working for her, but she was mm-hmm. like, no, there's some shit that's not.
This is not cool.
Up. Yeah.
Yeah. So she broke that lawyer client confidentiality so that she could submit shit behind Courtney Love's back, mm-hmm. gave it to the PI. PI was like, what the hell? 2 months after Kurt died, her ex-bassist for Hole, Christian Pfaff, was found dead, apparently of an overdose also. What happened with her was her and her friend, she quit Hole. She says, I'm tired of being with Courtney. Courtney, all she does is yell at me. She bosses me around. Kristen and Kurt were actually really, really good friends. They got along. They had so much in common, and Courtney was jealous of it. I mean, they never were together like romantically. They were just really good fucking friends that could hang out.
She tried to say, Courtney, in a telephone conversation with this PI, mm-hmm. she was like, oh yeah, I guarantee that Kurt's been cheating on me. Like, he's been
with her.
Yeah. He's been cheating on me with her. Like, obviously, again, I'm not making quotations. I'm not quoting them.
Paraphrasing.
Yeah. Basically, she was saying, oh, yeah, he's cheating on me mm-hmm. because, he's going to leave me. And like, oh, do you have evidence of him cheating on you? Well, yeah, with this person. Like, from her own band. Like, she tried to throw her mm-hmm. own bandmate.
Well, she quit. She was like, screw you, Courtney. I'm sick of your shit. You treat me like shit. Every time, like, we try to work together, you override shit that I want to do. You always put me down, all this other shit. She was like, I'm done with it. She went back home to Minnesota. And then she was going to go back to Seattle to get the last of her shit out of that apartment. When she went to go get it, she met with one of her guy friends that was in another rock band, and he was helping her move. Well, in the U-Haul truck, he was like, well, I'm just going to stay down here tonight. I'll sleep in the truck because he said there are heroin addicts like everywhere. Like, her shit was going to get stolen if somebody would stay in the truck. He said around 8 o'clock, he left her upstairs. She was going to get in the bath. He said that he had seen Kristen's ex-boyfriend go into the house. He stayed for maybe about an hour, and then he left. He said he went back in the house to go check on her, and her bathroom door was locked, and he knocked on it. He figured she probably fell asleep in the bathtub or whatever. Come get her in the morning. Came get her in the morning. The door is still locked. He kicked it open, and she was kneeled down in the bathtub in a few inches of water. And there was heroin shit all over the place. And she had already been clean for months. Like, she was like, I don't want to live this life anymore. This is bullshit. Mm-hmm. But she had a falling out with Courtney. Courtney was jealous of her and suspected that she was the reason why Kurt didn't want to be with her anymore. The reason why Courtney was so fucking upset about Kurt not there, she was just trying to do what she could to keep him in the music business, period. Because he wanted to divorce her and he wanted to quit music. He was like, I'm done with all of this life. I'm done with you and everything that comes with it.
He couldn't handle it. He wasn't into all the fancy shit that came along with what she wanted. She was telling this PI guy, Oh, he stays in super fancy hotels. You'll find him there.
Yeah.
Like, she was leading this guy in a wild goose chase. Like,
to tie him up.
Yeah. And she was pissed because he wanted the divorce and he was going to cut her out of his will.
Well, they had a prenup before they got married.
Yeah.
So when they got divorced, she was only going to get a small settlement. But she also had his kid. And if something happened to him, she'd get a co-inheritance until she was 18.
She got some $1 billion fucking shit after Kurt died.
She got a lot of money after Kurt died. Plus,
it was in the billions.
Yeah.
Courtney, as not like right then, but for royalties.
Yeah. She collected his estate and all of his name and all of that until the daughter was 18. So that was part of her co-inheritance.
Yeah.
But she wanted Kurt to stay with her because if he was still going to be in Nirvana, she was still going to make her money. It was still going to make her, look good and okay. But if he died, she get all this sympathy and she's got this record coming out. That might help her get more sales too. Plus she get this co-inheritance. So it's like, but if we do stay together and like he decides he does want to quit music, he's not going to make any more money. So he's more useful, more beneficial to me if he's dead.
Yeah.
So she supposedly hired this guy, which I was watching that and I was I have seen those fuckers.
Kurt Cobain's best friend, Dylan. And the babysitter, Callie.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys.
Well, she supposedly hit up El Duce from the Mentors, which I've actually seen perform at Jerry's Pizza like a long time ago. That is a horrible fucking band. They are so crass and disgusting. I'm sorry. To each their own. No judgment if you like them. But he was part of that band and he got hit up. She offered him $50,000. Supposedly they had an arrangement, but he ended up getting to go back on tour and just up and left and didn't say anything to her. Well, she started calling the place he was working, looking for him. He was like, he just went on tour. And she's like, this is bullshit. We had an agreement. What am I supposed to do? And he's like, dude, I don't know. I got a business to run. Like, he'll be back. Don't worry about it. So that's when she got someone else, this mystery person, to go do it while he was gone. So that's how he ended up knowing who did it and being actually semi in a part of it. Did you get any of those guys? Oh, okay. Hold on real quick. Okay. So that guy in one of the documentaries that I did watch, El Duce from the Mentors, he actually was in part of a documentary for Courtney and Kurt.
Really?
And he supposedly accidentally, you can watch it and you can take it as an accident or not. He goes, oh, he was like, yeah, no, she offered me money and but I didn't do it. I turned her down, this, that. He goes, but Alan, and he's like, oh shit. And he starts laughing. He goes, like, you didn't hear that. 2 days later, he was found dead. They found his body on a train track. His head's on this side, his body's on that side. Supposedly, one of the guys that was there during the filming, they said it was some black guy or some guy with black dreads, knew El Duce and this guy, Alan, that he named, and went and told Alan, he just put you on blast on film. So this Alan guy who actually killed Kurt Cobain went and killed that guy for letting his name slip. This guy was actually interviewed later on, this Alan Wrench, interviewed later on. And he straight up admits, yeah, I killed Kurt. I got $50,000 and I got this Lexus as a bonus from Courtney for killing Kurt. And he's like, but I'll never be tried or convicted for it or for killing El Duce, but whatever. And he laughs about it like he doesn't care. It's been brought up. They tried talking about it with different people in different interviews. And there's one where he actually gets mad and he looks like stressed out and like, oh shit. He's like, I told you, we're not going to fucking talk about, Kurt or that or during this shit. I'm not talking about none of that. And he gets up and he storms out real quick. But it's like, why? Why not? You've already outed yourself.
You've already done it too.
Yeah,
you got the money. You fucking.
Yeah. I'm going to say he outed himself because he didn't do it. When people confess to killing Tupac?
Right. Like, but his name was thrown out there before he confessed to it.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, he knows
different.
He knows that he can't be pinned to anything because the shotgun and the casings were wiped clean of even Kurt's fingerprints. So on the shotgun and the shell casings, Kurt's fingerprints weren't even on that shit.
So he was injected, and
you think so?
No, they fucked up. Yeah.
Kurt initially died from a drug overdose, but was also shot, which I find weird.
Yeah.
Well, you guys heard about the taxi driver, right? Who drove him to the gun store.
To get the shot.
A while before that, his guns were taken from him because he is a suicidal guy.
Right. Yeah. He had. Yeah,
his
police
friend bought it for
police
him,
took his.
They
put it in his name.
Yeah, they took those guys from the house he was killed at, from the house to the gun store and back to buy the gun.
Well, they're even saying they found that roofie shit in his body too when they did his autopsy. So they're thinking that somebody was in that greenhouse with him, roofied him, shot him up with the heroin, and while he was laying on the floor, put the shotgun in his hand. That's why it's all funky, and made him blow his own brains out. While he was
already
dead.
He would have already been dead.
Yeah.
Thank goodness, because you know what? That's
You're not feeling
Oh, and that was another thing that that electrician said. The one that found him.
Yeah.
He said that his hair was combed. He told his boss, he goes, "That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen on a dead body, but his hair looked combed. Like somebody went and combed his hair back." If you get shot with a shotgun, everything's going everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, his face wasn't blown off or anything, but your hair would have been jolted in a way.
These all feel like not smart enough people to commit the perfect crime where no one's going to get pinned for it.
But see, you're not going to go investigate.
These people had enough money to where it didn't matter.
The money, I think, is where people can investigate.
And also, back in the 90s, there really wasn't that much good investigating going on, or the police were bought off because there were some cops talking, or some investigators talking about how, this patrol officer just called the fucking coroner right away instead of calling the homicide department.
Well, there's evidence that she's actually friends with the lead investigator and the coroner on his case.
Yeah, but
so there's a lot
the same person who's pulling
shit.
that many strings from media to police is also going to leave notes at her lawyer's house saying, "Get arrested."
She's so strung out though.
That's what I'm saying. Do you really think that someone who's that?
This private investigator talked about how when she answered the door to meet him in the first place, she was dressed in fucking lingerie. And she was dressed scantily clad and everything, and just strung out on heroin. She didn't give a fuck.
No. I don't know. It all.
Yeah. And that's another good point. I think Gregory's listening in the comments. You guys know Gregory.
Yeah.
He did the picture for your birthday.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, the electrician did call the radio station before he called the cops.
Yeah. I read about that too.
Everybody there is fucking horrible people. I don't trust any of them. The lawyer, I don't trust this.
You know what? The 90s, with the Jean Bonnet shit too, these fucking cops, what the fuck was happening?
Yeah,
with police in the 90s, Rodney King, all of it.
Because there was no body cams, there was no interwebs, there was no people recording shit on their phones. It was just a lot of people did what the fuck they wanted.
Whatever, Frankie.
Hey, Frank.
He's trying to pretend to tiptoe. Whatever. We're way over.
Yes. Sorry, but there was a lot to this story. So if any of you guys are, interested by what we had to say about it and you have not seen anything, you can go on YouTube. There are lots of documentaries. I think Soaked in Bleach is on
Soaked
YouTube.
in Bleach is one of my favorites.
Yeah. I have not seen it yet. There was a bunch of other documentaries I'd seen and
you can find one
stories.
Frances Bean actually was involved in one of them. I don't remember which one it was, but she has sort of had something to do with one of them. I don't remember. And don't quote me on it because I could be wrong, but that's what I heard.
Yeah. She even had a boyfriend way before she got with Kurt. That was also another rocker or whatever. He'd even claimed dude, I don't know what I did to piss her off. He goes, I woke up with the bed on fire one night. She lit the bed up while he was still sleeping in it.
Somebody's daddy touched her too much. Somebody's taking it on everyone.
Her mom must have given birth standing up because she acts like she's dropped on her fucking head.
I don't know that.
Jesus. But yeah.
Can't believe they even gave her a roast. Did they? Wait, they roasted Courtney Love, right?
I think they did, yeah.
I think she does enough of a job, good enough job on her own for that shit.
She doesn't deserve that, though.
She doesn't deserve shit. She's a mess. Nobody really likes her. But supposedly she's paying off all these people somehow to kill other people for her that make her upset. So.
She's making money, and that's why she still has people around her.
Yeah.
So
her daughter doesn't even want to be around her. Her daughter hasn't been around her for a long time, and
she knows better.
Her daughter's ex-husband is actually going back and forth to court with her right now because when her daughter, when Frances got divorced from her husband Isaiah in 2016, he actually got Kurt's guitar from the MTV Unplugged from 1993.
Oh, that one.
He got that in the divorce, and she got to keep the house that they bought together. Mm-hmm. And supposedly Courtney's lawyer and a couple other guys tried to break into his house one night while his mother and a friend was there. Mm-hmm. And the alarm went off, so he ran downstairs, and it was two dudes dressed like cops banging on the door saying, open the fucking door. When they did, Courtney's manager walked in and grabbed him and started manhandling him, started threatening him. They supposedly terrorized the mother, all kinds of shit. They put him in the back of a black Escalade, and they kidnapped him for a while. And then the friend was there called the cops and said, my friend just got fucking snatched up out of the house. So, and supposedly she had hired her manager, who she is not even associated with anymore now, suspicious. And those guys, she supposedly hired them to kidnap and murder him so that she can get Kurt's guitar back because it's worth millions of dollars. Oh, it's a very significant.
All she cares about is money.
Yeah, she's power hungry and she wants that attention. She's got a lot of shit going. Like, this just screams fucking serial killer without her actually putting her hands on anybody.
Clintons.
Yeah, exactly.
That brings me to my would you rather.
That's
yeah.
Yes.
I still don't feel like she's smart enough to pull all that off.
I think she.
I don't think she did it by herself. She was too strung out on heroin. People advised her to do these things.
Oh, somebody did something.
Somebody did.
I think everyone was just on drugs, and then someone got shot, and they're like, "Oh my god, we gotta get her."
Yeah, right.
No, I think maybe because automatically being on drugs doesn't make you stupid.
No, but being
it does because I was on meth for 3 fucking years. I was still fucking drawing these crazy intricate pieces and like doing all this cool shit, but I mean obviously it was bad. It didn't end well. Yeah. But I mean, like, just because you're on drugs doesn't make you dumb all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Like, you're still thinking about things probably even more so now that you're on drugs and you're like, shit, I gotta hide this even more. So you're more paranoid, more trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, like what you need to do.
Sorry, I had to put that on there. No, it's just that, I mean, for how long they were doing it. I mean, his entire career was that.
Yeah.
I mean, he started out on heroin. Yeah. Like, that's how he started his career fucked up.
So, I mean,
he's from Seattle. What the fuck do you expect?
It's that and rain.
Yeah, it's heroin and rain. What the fuck else are you gonna do?
Sheesh.
But yeah, no, I don't see her being that good at anything.
I think she had enough money for people to fucking care.
Yeah,
so maybe she had like a crazy idea, and people were just like, yeah, she has enough money. Like, let's just go along with that and get more money out of her to do
whatever
it.
She says we can milk her for.
Yeah, sure. And then she needed, obviously, a story to cover up shit. So she had to fork out more money. But she was also gaining money after he died. So she could pay out these people to do the shit for her.
Oh, exactly.
So I think, yeah. Like, I think she's smart enough, especially growing up wealthy. She fucking...
Or just evil enough.
Yeah.
Evil, wealthy, whatever. I mean, it's not all the same, but
well, even like her, she had another psychiatrist at 14 that said she was like the most. She was like prudish. She was conniving, and she was like the most manipulative, horrible person she'd ever met. And I'm like, you're saying that about a 14-year-old? That's a lot. That's a lot to say about a 14-year-old. That kid has to be a piece of shit.
Yeah, she's not dumb.
No, but
for sure.
So that's our deal on Kurt and Courtney.
Let us know what you guys think further. Yes.
And in a couple of weeks, we will be in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Shot Fest Film Festival. Yes.
Can't wait.
Almost there. We get to go party for a weekend. Woo-hoo. Fremont Street.
It's going to be good. I'm going to like it.
Yep. And then we're just pretty much done for the year, I think. Just cruising
I mean, we're cruising for the next month or two months.
Yeah.
Just because, I don't know. Yeah. 2020 is going to be fun, though.
I'm excited.
Get shit moving.
It's going to be great.
I'm excited to just fuck around.
All right, ghouls, thank you guys for joining us again this week. We hope you guys have a fun, safe weekend. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, ghouls.